A Scottish judge has ruled Nicholas Alahverdian can be extradited to the United States. Authorities say the former Rhode Island activist faked his own death to avoid prosecution. 12 News reporter Anita Buffoni joins us now live in studio with what happened inside that Scottish courtroom. Anita?
Well, Mike, although the judge's ruling clears the way for Nicholas Alahverdian to be extradited to the United States, the final decision now lays in the hands of the Scottish Justice Secretary, the top law enforcement officer in the country. Nicholas Alahverdian is one step closer to being returned to the United States. A Scottish judge ruled Wednesday there is no legal barrier to him being sent back to face a rape charge in Utah. Stephen Godden with the BBC has been covering the case extensively.
So he heard all the arguments about his health and about potential treatment, and he decided that none of them amounted to a barrier to him being extradited.
Godden says Alahverdian made his appearance via video from jail.
When he appeared, he sat slumped in this wheelchair. He was hiding his face, very different to the character that some of your viewers will have seen in the wheelchair with the hat and the oxygen mask.
At one point, he said Alahverdian had an outburst, calling the judge a disgrace to justice. Alahverdian claims he is Arthur Knight, an orphan from Ireland who is being mistaken for a man charged with rape in Utah. But authorities ruled he is actually Alahverdian, formerly of Rhode Island, and he faked his own death to avoid prosecution.
Indeed, since the evidence which I accept is that he's an American citizen who left the United States and travelled to Ireland or the United Kingdom in 2017, and who's lived here under a succession of false identities until his arrest in 2021.
He went by Nicholas Rossi when the rapes were allegedly committed. The judge heard testimony that Alahverdian does not need the oxygen mask and wheelchair he is seen using.
Beneath all of that are really serious allegations in Utah that Nicholas Rossi is now a step closer to facing.
Now I'm told it could take up to 28 days for that Scottish Justice Secretary to decide whether or not Nicholas Alahverdian will be extradited back to the United States to face a rape charge in Utah. I'm Anita Buffoni, 12 News.
The man who claims he's Arthur Knight, but whom prosecutors say is an international fugitive, is a step closer to being brought back to the U.S. to face charges. 12 News reporter Anita Buffoni tells us about the decision made today in a Scottish courtroom. Anita?
Well, Shannon, a judge in Scotland ruled Nicholas Alahverdian can be extradited. Now, whether or not the former Rhode Island activist will be sent back to Utah to face a rape charge is now in the hands of a Scottish Justice Secretary, the top law enforcement officer in the country. The captivating case of Nicholas Alahverdian is moving forward in a Scottish courtroom.
Today was a significant moment in the case.
BBC reporter Stephen Godden has been tracking this story and was in court for the hearing where a judge ruled extradition proceedings can move forward for Alahverdian.
I conclude that he is as dishonest and deceitful as he is evasive and manipulative.
Alahverdian claims he is Arthur Knight, an orphan from Ireland who is being mistaken for a man charged with rape in Utah. Authorities say Alahverdian, once a Rhode Island activist, faked his own death to avoid prosecution. He went by Nicholas Rossi when he allegedly raped a woman in Utah.
Unfortunate facets of his character have undoubtedly complicated and extended what is ultimately a straightforward case.
Alahverdian claims to have significant health issues, although authorities say there is no evidence he's in need of the wheelchair and oxygen mask he is seen wearing. During the hearing, Alahverdian was present through a video from jail, and he appeared much different than past appearances.
Today he cut a very different picture. He was slumped, as I say, morose almost, until at one point he shouted at the sheriff, said that he was a disgrace to justice.
The clerk of the sheriff, also known as the judge, then turned off the video. That proceeded with a 40-minute reading of the judge's decision.
His roots in this country are shallow indeed.
Now, Godden of the BBC tells me the Justice Secretary has up to 28 days to decide if Alahverdian will be extradited. I'm Anita Buffoni, 12 News.